and welcome to one of the first Dominaria draft leagues on Magic the Gathering Online. This is Old Man Poole. It's good to have you all here. I'm excited. This set was really sweet. I did one pre-release sealed on Magic Online, one pre-release sealed in person, and had a great time with both. What do we want here? So there's Daring Archaeologist as our rare, which I think is a perfectly fine card. It's good card advantage if you play it a little bit later in the game, that you can bring back like a Saga or the like. And getting counters as you play more historic spells means this is a pretty good payoff for that deck. Garner the Bloodflame is pretty impressive too. This does commit to 2 colors, but is a very powerful effect. I think it's probably between those two. I do like things like Call the Cavalry. Caligo Skinwitch really impressed me. Sergeant at Arms is better, and I thought it would be... There's a lot of good cards. I think we're going to start off with the Archaeologist, though. I really haven't played with any of the like historic themed decks, so this will be a good first jump into that that archetype. So we have Thallid Soothsayer, which is a pretty good payoff for the Thallid decks. Untamed Kavu, which is also just like a really solid green creature card. Nothing makes me real excited that goes along with Daring Archaeologist as our first pick, although this isn't necessarily something you crazy have to build around. This can be a card that if you have a handful of historics in your deck, you'll play, and it'll be upside some of the time. I'm definitely tempted by the Soothsayer. I'm a big fan, like, personally, of the Saprolings deck, so if that's open, I would love to go into that. You could also argue that, like, Black-White has a lot of good synergies, although maybe a little bit less so on the historic side. I think it's probably between the two uncommons here. I think I'm just going to take the Soothsayer, but knowing that doesn't necessarily follow the theme of our first pick either. Man, I'm so excited. This format's been really sweet in my experience. Okay, so now we have a little bit of a decision point. I'm not sure exactly how quickly you want to take these lands. They're all very good. I think the fact that they're a playable land means that they're kind of an extra card you can draft. Like, you want 23 good playables, but getting extra lands on top of that is a way to make your deck a little bit better, but doesn't really like cut into your regular playables, if that makes sense. There's Saproling Migration, which I think is pretty solid with Thallid Soothsayer. There's also Sanctum Spirit, which I think is quite good if we are going to do some sort of historic deck. I think I'm going to take Sanctum Spirit here. I could see Memorial to Glory being the pick. I think those are both better than the Saproling Migration, even with the Soothsayer already picked up. Yeah, let's take the Sanctum Spirit. Ooh, wow. Dreadshade. This is pretty powerful. I mean, So it is triple black. It's very hard to play. It's pretty rare this is actually going to be like a turn 3 play. But if you play this on like turn 7 or so, it's still like a 6/6. And the games where you can play it on turn 3, it's just absurd. Probably just going to take Dreadshade here, I would think. What else is there of interest? Diligent Excavator, I don't think Mill is really going to be a thing. Flame of Keld, I don't think is going to be fantastic, although I might be proved wrong. Yeah, I don't think there's really anything else exciting here, and Dreadshade's good. I'm surprised to see it go forth. Maybe I'm underestimating how difficult it'll be to cast, but it seems powerful. Okay, so not seeing Fantastic White in the last 2 packs. We do have a Caligo Skinwitch, which I've been impressed by, and I might pick that up here. I think it's probably best. Rampaging Cyclops is pretty good. Ancient Animus is fine. I think everything else is kind of mediocre here. Let's take the Skinwitch. It's on color, and I may have just had an especially good run with this during my sealed events, and admittedly sealed's quite a bit slower than draft most of the time, but the Skinwitch just felt absurd when you could kick it. Like, a lot of time you play this and your opponent had 2 or 3 cards left in hand, and man, they just did not recover. A built-in 3-for-1 at common, even if it is a very expensive 3-for-1, is pretty sweet. Alright, what do we got here? We have Skittering Surveyor I was quite impressed with, again in sealed. Might be a little bit slow for draft, but just being able to fix your colors in a format that doesn't have a whole lot of fixing, having like the best card to do that is pretty nice. There's also a Ronin Disciple of Gix, which I think is fine. It's actually one of the less exciting legendary uncommons, I think, but I mean, you'll always play it. There's also like Short Sword and Partic Wanderer, which are okay, kind of go along with the historic theme, but are not real exciting. I think I'm just going to take the Surveyor here, honestly. I've been impressed with this, having the opportunity to splash in a format that's got a ton of very, very powerful multicolored uncommons. Seems like where you want to be. Out of this pack, don't love Tragic Poet much. None of these black cards are really very exciting. I think the highest powered card is probably Gitu Chronicler, but I'm not sure it's worth jumping ship either. I guess we'll probably just take, like, Blessing of Benzalok? Yeah, I guess. Not really excited about any of these cards. This card is passable. I think you'll play one of it a lot of the time. Here we got a Benalish Honor Guard, which is fine. I'm not sure how often 2-drops are going to matter in this format, but when they do, it's good, I suppose. Keldon Overseer is kind of a wombo with Valid Soothsayer, but it costs like 9 mana. It is very good if you get up to 9. I think I'll just take the Honor Guard and not be too unhappy. Ooh, so Garna actually came back. That's kind of a surprise. I think this card is quite good. I mean, it's a 3/3 flash that frequently you can play like post-combat or whatever else, and you just get all your creatures back. And you can set up a combat where you trade 1 or 2 creatures, even 1 creature off for this. It's a great value. And I mean, it's still a 3/3 flash, which once in a while is going to surprise your opponent even with nothing else, too. Yeah, let's take Garna. One of the advantages of taking something like Skidding Surveyor early is, even if we end up being white-black, this is probably pretty splashable. Stronghold Confessor seems fine. Don't love either of these red cards. Tyranny of the Flames may be interesting. There might be a deck for this guy, but I want someone to beat me with it before I try. Let's take the Confessor. Guardians of Koilos, kind of whatever. Invoke the Divine's a pretty good sideboard card. I guess we'll take that over the Guardians and Rat Colony. And I guess maybe Tragic Poet. I really don't think Flame of Kill is fantastic. And yeah, splashing it's pretty bad too, because that only helps out red sources. Divest is reasonable sideboard card. Not something you're super excited about, but if there's just a bomb you cannot beat or something, you'll pick it up. So I feel like black was medium open. We got a pretty late Stronghold Confessor, which I think is pretty good. Garna came around. Got a 4th pick Dreadshade, which I have to feel like can't be correct, at least in pack 1. So I think we're doing okay as far as the colors we're sitting in. I would really like to get some removal for playing white and black, which are the colors that really have a lot of the premier removal. We haven't seen much. Oh wow, so there's another Daring Archaeologist. There's also an Eviscerate. There's also a Tatyova, I want to say is how you say that, which is a fantastic card, but is about as far away from our deck as we can get right now, so I'm not sure we can pick that up. I mean, Daring Archaeologist right now just doesn't... We don't have a whole lot of synergies with it. And we've got Skittering Surveyor and Garna. I think I'm just going to take Eviscerate. Archaeologist is definitely solid, but I want some good removal, and Eviscerate is quite choice. Call the Cavalry is pretty fine here. There's also Blessed Light. I think I actually might have passed a Blessed Light at some point. I can't remember what I passed for it. Call the Cavalry is very efficient. Like, the 2/2s, or 2 2/2s for 4 is definitely something I'm on board with. We maybe just want Blessed Light a little bit more. How's this deck winning? I guess Call the Cavalry is pretty bad with Garna. Yeah, I guess we're taking Blessed Light. I'm not sure that's a correct pick. Maybe a little bit later on in the format I'll have some more insight, but I can see it going either way right now. Ooh, that's a pretty Hinterland Harbor art. I haven't seen this yet. Mesa Unicorn, I guess. Some kind of all over the place cards, honestly. Mesa Unicorn is perfectly fine, though. 2/2 lifelink, you're pretty happy with. Definitely would play it before I played the Benalish Honor Guard. And I might end up doing both in the main deck, so happy to pick it up. We're going to move the Skin Witch up to the 6th slot, because we're really hoping to kick this card. It's important to note that Sanctum Spirit I think is perfectly fine, even if we don't have a whole lot of historic cards. A 3/2 lifelink is almost always going to trade, and get you a little bit of life on the upside. And when you do have a historic card to pitch to it, it's going to feel broken. Ooh, so we got Arvad the Cursed. With basically no legendary creatures, but I think that's still just gonna be the pick. I think this card is actually like reasonable on its own as a 3/3 Death Touch lifelink. And if it can buff something else, man, you're really doing it then. Yeah, let's take Arvad. There's a bunch of good red here. I like Skizix, I like Keldon Raider a lot. But yeah, not unhappy with this pickup. Here we have not too much. I mean, Shield of the Realm, I guess, if we really wanted some more historic cards, but I don't think that card's particularly good. Don't like Blessing of Benzalak or Demonic Vigor much. Could just take Dub. I guess we have a decent amount of creatures. Dub is very, very powerful if your opponents don't have a fantastic response to it. It is an aura and it gets 2 for 1 like any other, but I mean, when you make a Mesa Unicorn into like a 4/4 first strike lifelink on turn 3, that feels pretty gross. So I guess that's the pick. We do have a good number of creatures, which makes me a little bit more excited to play it. I am also probably a little bit more tilted than I should be, that when you look at this card, the comma is on like its own line. I don't know, it looks pretty weird. Alright, here we have Clifftop Retreat, which we could pick up because it helps splash for Garna, which I think we are going to play pretty much no matter what. And then like Sergeant at Arms, which Sergeant at Arms has actually impressed me more than I thought initially. I was thinking this card would be pretty mediocre on either side, but it's done well. There's a lot of go wide effects, although we haven't really picked any up here. I kind of just want to take the Clifftop Retreat though. We're doing pretty well on playables, and again, when you can pick up like powerful lands, that tends to make your deck just a little bit better. And we're getting all the payoffs for historic cards, but maybe for when I'm drafting this deck in the future, I'll just have to pay more attention to like the artifacts, even if they look kind of bad. We just really want legendary creatures. Like, that's the dream here. We just haven't seen too many. But yeah, I'll take the Sanctum Spirit, not be too unhappy about it. Well, are we doing it? Short Sword? I guess. I don't know, this aura just seems, or this artifact just seems so lackluster. But I guess we have a lot of synergies now. Sure, I don't really want a second Dub or a second Blessing. We will begrudgingly take Short Sword. Maybe I'll have to move these up in my estimation as the format goes on, but right now I'm not in love. Amaranthine Wall, I guess, is another one we could pick up. It's kind of just a big dirtily wall. It does block literally anything if you need it to. I could also take, what else? Rat Colony? Navigator's Compass seems pretty bad. All of these seem not exciting. I guess I'll take the wall. And there's another one. We can do Guardians of Koilos. Is there, I guess, Skittering Surveyors is not a bad buyback. Garna is actually a pretty good buyback. It's another thing to pitch. Don't really like another Blessing. I guess I'll take that. Demonic Vigors, just whatever. Feels like these packs have not been super exciting, but I feel like we are in the right colors. Like, we're filled out to 19 playables already, even if we're using playables maybe a little bit loosely when you're thinking about things like Amaranthine Wall. Killed an Overseer coming around is a travesty. But I don't know. Maybe it's not that good. If the format's really slow, it does get worse. Drudge Sentinels or Compass. Really don't like this Sentinel much. Maybe I'll take Compass. I don't think this card is very good either, but it is historic. It could help us play our like Dreadshade, which is, I suppose, kind of relevant. It does help with splashing. It just is a very expensive help with splashing. Pick up one of two pretty unexciting blue cards. I mean, this isn't bad. It's just kind of unexciting. I feel like we need a little bit more oomph. I guess the Dreadshade maybe will kill opponents in some cases. Our curve's a little bit higher right now. I wouldn't hate picking up a couple more like 3-drops. I'm not sure how often the format's going to be like crazy beatdown and how much of it's going to be grindy late game. But I think we're in kind of the awkward position where we're not fantastic in either right now. Alright, so here we have Dauntless Bodyguard and Sanctum Spirit, which are both solid creatures. We've also got Vicious Offering and Eviscerate, which are good removal spells. I'm a little bit tempted to take Vicious Offering, honestly. Eviscerate may just be better. This answers things cheaply earlier in the game, though, and we're kind of high on curve already. We do have two more or less unconditional removal spells. higher up in the curve, so I think I'm going to take Vicious Offering. Again, I could see that being correct or incorrect depending on how the format shapes out, but let's take the good removal spell here. All of Thran. Oh yeah, I don't really like this card much. We've got Lingering Phantom, which, good with Historic again. This is the third Rona we've seen too, which is kind of funny. There's Call to Cavalry, which is a solid card. Deathbloom Thallid. I'm gonna take the Phantom. I don't know, maybe we should just play some not great historic artifacts and that'll get there. Ooh, wow. So there's a Benalish Marshal here. Obviously very hard to play with the Dreadshade. So Navigator's Compass actually may end up being fine. There's also Memorial to Folly, which is great. Like I said, I'm not really sure when to pick these up, but they are powerful. This is actually a great pack for us. Eviscerate's fantastic. Call to Cavalry's pretty good. I think it's probably between the Marshal and the Eviscerate, and I'm pretty sure we're just going to be greedy, but I could see this not being correct. Like, it's going to be hard, especially if we're splashing Garna. These cards are realistically more like 5 or 6 drops, probably. Which means our curve is crazy high right now. Well, I guess only one I'm super excited for, and it's another expensive one. There's Tempest Djinn. Yeah, nobody wants to play these triple colored cards. Maybe I'm out of the loop. Maybe these are just really, really tough. It feels like they're good, but maybe the mana just is too much of a stretch. I think we are going to take Urgaros, and we're just going to get run over by any early game deck. Oh man, I'm being so greedy. But this card's good. It's a legendary creature. It's powerful on its own. Maybe some Deathbloom Thallids will wheel. Maybe Caligal Skinwitch actually will end up being like a 2-drop in this deck. At least some amount of the time. Urza's Tome. Oh, that's kind of a cool card. Do we want it? There's actually a lot of good stuff in here for us too. I actually think this deck would play Power Stone Shard. On the other hand, it's a little bit rough since our color requirements are so tough, but we do have a lot on the top end, which makes it better. Pegasus Courser's fine, although I think it's better if you're on the beatdown, which this deck is unlikely to be. Stronghold Confessor's good. Kind of tempted by Urza's Tome. But honestly, I don't know if we can dirtle much more than what we're doing now. And I don't know. I guess I'm going to take Power Stone Shard. I'm not sure that's right. I feel like we actually do kind of want to build up the curve. And I guess Sanctum Spirit, if we've got a good number of historic cards, which we actually kind of are getting there now. These will buy us a lot of time. It gains us a lot of life. It's pretty hard for our opponent to interact with super well. Here, don't think Karn's Temporal Sundering is very good. Actually, not much that's great in here. I might just take the Cabal Evangel, even though this card is super unexciting. If we do play against an aggressive deck, though, we might be really happy we had it. Memorial to War, I also think is... Despite me saying that the lands that do something are all pretty good, I think Memorial to War is the worst one, actually. Maybe not even something you'd want to play. I guess let's take the Evangel. I think it'll be a sideboard card. Okay, got another Lingering Phantom. I feel like if we make it to the late game, this deck is going to be fantastic. As I pick up another 6-drop. I really can't help myself, can I? Okay, looking over this, I think Dub is going to be not fantastic. Again, if we're kind of playing for a late game deck, Dub is an aggressive card, and a card that if we end up in a real, like, control matchup, is just going to be pretty abysmal. Play Sparring Construct. I really don't like this card much. It does trigger a lot of stuff. There's nothing else here. I'm not playing Demonic Vigor if I can help it at all. I guess. I'm not sure this starts main deck, but maybe we'll have to side it in. Don't think Blessing of Bells and Locks particularly good either. Thallid Soothsayer might just not be that fantastic. All of our creatures we care about, we don't really want to start sacking them. It's a 2/3 for 4 on its own. It is a little bit nice that if you have mana up, it makes it hard for your opponents to, like, you get value every time they try and remove it, but yeah, let's pitch the Soothsayer. Could have had 2 Daring Archaeologists in this deck, but, and I guess Blessing of Benzalok bites the dust. Aesir Glider. Man, I really wish this card could block. It would make it just so much better. I guess Tiana is kind of an easy splash, but she really doesn't do much. I guess she's a flying first striker. She is a historic card. We're already splashing red, maybe that's just good enough. We're gonna play like one equipment though. She's basically just a 5/3 flying first strike that's hard to cast. I don't like Voltaic Servant much, but maybe we should just take that. Yeah, I guess. Sideboard card. There's Rona. I don't think we're splashing another direction when we have double or 2 triple colored cards. I guess Cabal Paladin? Although again, hoping not to play it. Really would have loved to get another Skittering Surveyor in this deck, but we'll have to deal with one. Charge. Not actually. We don't have a ton of things that make advantage of it. Don't think that will make the main deck, but it is on color and the other cards aren't. Feral Abomination. Another top end card, but I don't think we really need the help in that department. A Dark Bargain or Rat Colony. So we don't have any card draw in this deck right now, so Dark Bargain might just be pretty good. But again, I feel like if we get to the top end, we're just doing so okay anyway that I'd rather have Rat Colony as a way to shore up our early game. Alright, what don't we like? Let's double check there's not anything that we should be running that we're not. Don't like Charge, Tragic Poet, Dub, Invoke the Divine. Could see the Thallid Soothsayer maybe having a place. I kind of like to pitch a couple of these 2-drops, but maybe that's pretty greedy. This is really a 4-drop. This is really a 6-drop. So that's the case we're only running 3 2-drops. These are realistically much higher up the curve too. We play Navigator's Compass turn 1. We're happy with that. These are all things that we would play on curve if we could. I guess Short Sword too. Actually, we have a lot of creatures in this deck, don't we? I mean, I think the deck is cool. I'm not sure it's crazy good. I'd probably rather not have Guardians of Koilos. Probably rather not have the Amaranthine Wall. Maybe we should play like Sparring Construct or Voltaic Servant if we're pretty much just playing the wall for historic. Man, it scares me that we're playing cards just because they're historic. Most of them I think are okay. Navigator's Compass is pretty borderline, but it actually I think is okay, given that we have both of these cards. I think I'm going to cut the wall. Right, is this where we're at? I think so. I'm really not sure how good this is going to end up being, but I guess we're here. So let's add some lands. Oh, I guess first let's add our Clifftop Retreat. Then let's add some lands. I do want one mountain because then it's searchable by the Skittering Surveyor. The deck recommends a little bit heavier on black than white. Do I agree with that? Yes, I think I do. Dreadshade's a little bit better on turn 3, whereas Benalish Marshal's a little bit better later on in the game. And we do want to kick things like the Skin Witch. Okay, let's do that. Alright, deck is sweet. Hopefully deck is actually good. We'll see, I suppose. See you guys for match 1. Alright, we're back for match 1. We won dice roll. And I have an okay hand, I think. We find another land, then we've got Power Stone Shard, and then we're not that far away from casting like Guardians and Lingering Phantom. Benalish Marshal's quite a ways away, but I think we're keeping this. This really just needs one land before we're okay with what's going on. Really wish this card was one of the ones that just tapped for anything, rather than one that tapped for multiple colorless. I feel like the set has some really intense color costs, even beyond just the 3 colored ones. A lot of the kickers are double colored. Okay, Adventurous Impulse is a card I'm a huge fan of. Yeah, like Power Stone Shard I actually think would be maybe better than your average set, and a card that tapped for any color like Manolith it might be better in this set. But okay, another Plains I like quite a bit. Definitely going to play it. If we find other Plains and can play Benalish Marshal next turn, that is a good thing. Start off with the Macy Unicorn. Be interesting to see how good this card is relative to something like Bishop Soldier. Bishop Soldier was very, very good, like tier 1, 2-drop. And in this set, I mean, this is Unicorns isn't a creature type that matters, and also I think 2-drops are going to be less important, so it may not be that great, but... Okay, so we're now up to 2 cards we can't cast in hand. Suppose we might as well swing at the Macy Unicorn. Opponent start out with a Llanowar Scout, which I'm definitely not in love with. Guess I should have swung first before the Power Stone Shard. I think if I'm my opponent, I always block there, but there's a chance that they're really trying to like ramp to 4 or something, in which case, maybe that I should have swung first. Good practice in general, too. Ooh, Skittering Surveyor. Definitely a card I am in love with. I'd really like to find a land this turn. Playing Guardians of Koilos seems like that would be pretty nice. Okay, missed by this much. I suppose we're still swinging. But yeah, like again, this is a case where Manolith would just be miles better than Power Stone Shard. Yeah, we don't have anything to play, so our curve is pretty high. I'm not sure I can really complain too much about that. And we did keep a 2-land hand. If we find a land next turn, I think despite having to take the turn off, we're not looking too bad. I'm a little bit worried my opponent's just going to play a huge monster here, though. They've been hitting their land drops pretty aggressively. We're up to 6 lands on turn 4. Dark Bargain, okay. A good card in general, and it's going to increase pressure on me. But nothing crazy absurd either. Like, bad for us in the future, not terrible for us for now. Okay, I like a mountain draw. I like any land draw there, honestly. I guess let's play Arvad. We could try and play Garna, but I don't think we're going to get a ton of value out of it. I guess if my opponent kills the Mace Unicorn as it swings in here, which they might actually. They swing with this Surveyor, although I guess if they're not going to block anyway, they just should. Yeah, I guess let's play Arvad. Doesn't do tons on its own right now, although we do have Garna, which is now a flashed in 5/5. It's a pretty big game. Wow, yeah, my opponent is all the lands here. Hopefully too many lands. We've had kind of a derpy, not super effectual start, but my opponent hasn't been super on the ball either. Okay, so this is good because I think it's likely that Stronghold Confession will trade with Harbod if we swing, and then Garna can get some good value. Ooh, Anthallid Soothsayer. Yeah, opponent's down to 2 cards left in hand. I imagine if they had something bigger, they probably would have played it. Ooh, so another Plains is interesting because we could just play Benalish Marshal. I think I just want Garna to come down, though. We can swing with the Mace Unicorn. It's kind of suspicious. It may sell my opponent on a trick. If they don't block, we can just play Lingering Phantom. That's not that bad. Yeah, I think we just swing with both. I don't think the downside is too much. My opponent knows it's coming. Oh well. Like, I don't think they can really do too much to disrupt it. Swing. It also means blocking there is a little bit scary if there's a trick. They might put us on like something like Charge. But since this says Death Touch, it might encourage a double block too. Nope, okay. So making good conservative blocks. Okay, and let's make sure we play this card right. When it enters the battlefield, return to your hand all creature cards in your graveyard that are put there from anywhere. So I guess it goes back to the hand. I was thinking it came to the battlefield. Not quite that good. So maybe we shouldn't have swung with the Mace Unicorn. It's definitely possible. That's okay. I still don't hate this play. And the next turn we're up to 6 mana. If we find one more, potentially we could play like Mace Unicorn and Arvad. That was good value. We're up to 30 life, which is... like, life isn't the hugest thing in most games. Like, you usually have more dominating board state or card advantage, etc. is what determines a game. But this does buy us a lot of time, too. If our opponent plays like a good flyer or something that's beating us down, killing us from 30 life takes a lot longer. Oh wow, okay. We like that. That is value for our opponent, but that just means they don't have anything better to be doing with their time. Looks like my opponent's just gotten really flooded. Okay, Sap Herd's a good one. Alright, so we play Arvad. Garden goes up to a 5/5. Okay, Jorah's Familiar. Not wild about that card. Opponent has spread themselves across the board pretty well. They only have 1 card in hand, though. I'm feeling good about that. Would have rather hit a land there. Yeah, I mean, we could play like Benalish Marshal, but then I can't play anything else. Yeah, I don't think there's anything better than Arvad here. We could play Lingering Phantom and just be a little bit less aggressive. It's a little bit more mana efficient, and it's something we're perfectly fine like throwing away over and over again. Yeah, actually maybe Lingering Phantom's better. We don't have to be on the beat down here. Oh yeah, this gives creatures haste. Oh yeah, that's even better. I forget about that. Man, these cards are nuts, the uncommons. They're just so good. So good. So my opponent is encouraged to, like, yeah, make double blocks, but then we're just going to be able to bring it back and back and back. That's going to be pretty nice. Don't really care too much about the blocking order. Well, I don't know. Deck's looking pretty good now. Although we also didn't die in the early game, and my opponent's drawn a billion mana, so I guess maybe this is an easy position to look good. Okay, opponent drawn a few more cards. The Thala deck may also not just play the huge threats, although if there's a good one, I'm sure they would. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, it feels like they're trying to ramp pretty hard. A game where the Power Stone shard actually is fairly relevant. Yeah, because now we're in a tough position because we can't bring back something like Lingering Phantom post-playing Guardian. Yeah, I mean, I think we're just going to play Arvad and not get value on the Phantom, which sucks, certainly. You can play Arvad, though, and we can go ahead and swing with Garna. We can also swing with both of these and force a double block. Arvad would die, though, which doesn't feel that fantastic. Okay, let's do this. Yeah. Sorry, Lingering Phantom. We didn't have double black to work with for Arvad there anyway, but we could have played the Guardian and not been unhappy. Arvad and Garna. Those are quite some names. Opponent jumping and sacrificing, looks like. Ooh, they have something better. Giant Growth. Fair enough. So yeah, it's gonna get big. Can't do too much about it. Okay, and we'll just pass back. Opponent sitting on 2 cards. They only have 18 cards left in their library. They've like drawn so many cards and they just haven't found any gas. It's gotta be frustrating. I do like that we have Blessed Light in hand, because if they do find one good, overwhelming threat. Ooh, I actually don't really remember what this does. Phyrexian Scriptures. Put +1/+1 counter on a creature, it becomes an artifact. Destroy all non-artifacts. So actually we can Guardians of Quelos and save Avad next turn. That's pretty good. Exiling the cards from our graveyard. Kinda sucks for Lingering Phantom. Means we need to find another black source pretty quick. And we would have to play... yeah, I think the Lingering Phantom's probably just dead here, since we don't have another land to bring it back. Blowing out the Power Stone shard was a good play. A good play indeed. So we could just swing with Arvad. My opponent probably wouldn't block, actually, because it's looking likely it's just going to die next turn. So yeah, I guess that's probably a good attack. Phyrexian Scriptures is kind of cool. The fact that it's not a board wipe immediately. Okay, opponent just jumping. I'm okay with that. We gain 3. I guess that's good for them, though, too, because that card's going to die. Ooh. Oh, yeah, okay. That makes sense. So yeah, I guess that was all kind of irrelevant, but that's okay. There was no loss on our part for playing it either. But yeah, I guess. Not too much actually happened there. Nope, gonna not pay that. I guess we have one more chance to find black specifically for Arvad. Guardians of Quelos is like, it's fantastic there though. Definitely want to use it. Alright, yep. Blows up all creatures. That actually doesn't do anything right now. And exiling our graveyard is not that scary. This gives a... Oh yeah, finds a creature. That's pretty good. Krosan Druid being kicked. Fair enough. And... Alright. Yep, rest in peace, Lingering Phantom. You were a good soldier. What do we play this turn? Arvad again? I guess? Can't quite play Urgros. Dreadshade's out of the picture. Don't really want to use Eviscerate. I think we're going to swing with the Guardians, and my opponent wants to double block. I'm very happy trading it for the Soothsayer. Yeah, let's play a Bard. We've been in the position all game where we haven't drawn quite as many lands as we'd like. My opponent's been in the position where they haven't or drawn nearly as many creatures as they would like, though, so I definitely can't complain too much. Again, I should have attacked before I played Arvad there. I'm being pretty sloppy about that. No blocks. Fine by me. Yep. And our creatures are indeed gone. Oh, Lingering Phantom. You were so good. You looked like you were going to be so fantastic. Okay, Cracking Memorial to Unity. Obviously a fantastic card for my opponent in their current position, because they really don't need lands, but they really, really do want, like, a good creature. Puts no cards? They just don't have any creatures in their deck? Okay, Windgrace Acolyte's pretty good. They mill a Guardian. Yeah, they just have, like, no creatures. Okay, cool, I like lands. So Urgaros doesn't pair super well against the Windgrace Acolyte. We could play Urgaros and then next turn kill the Acolyte and get in there. Seems not bad. The alternative is playing like... There's no alternative. Alright. So we are going to be better here. I'm going to swing with the Guardian before we play anything else. Probably shouldn't have played the Swamp either. Oh well. Too excited about new cards to play perfectly, I guess. Wow, just a chump block. Okay, just gonna sacrifice it for a card. Wonder if my opponent is actually literally going to mill themselves this game. It doesn't feel impossible. Play Urgaros. I guess that actually doesn't run into the Windgrace Acolyte unless Arvad dies, because it's a 6/5. Man, these legendary cards are really something. I feel like I'm just playing with like a deck filled with rares, and they're actually not rares. You're gonna see them all the time. Opponent playing something expensive. Ooh, Territory Allosaurus. That is a good card. So I imagine he's just gonna... Well, actually, there's not a great target for him. It'll trade with either of these two cards. Yeah, that might be a necessary evil. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that, though. That's gotta be one of the better cards in their deck, and to just have it trade off without getting any value is pretty good. They probably don't have anything else in their hand, so we could just play Banalish Marshal. We wouldn't be able to have Blessed Light up then, but I think that's okay. Play the Marshal and swing with everything. And hopefully this puts my opponent in a tough spot. Okay, Fungal Infection, fair enough. That ruins our day just a little bit. That's still just a trade, which isn't the end of the world. We're gonna have Dreadshade next turn. We just have so many threats, and my opponent's just out of gas. In large part because they just drew so many lands. They've also chump blocked kind of aggressively. Ooh, something else? Oh yeah, draw a card. Every time that's gonna surprise me. Every time. Okay, and I guess let's play Dreadshade. We've got quite the threats going on. My opponent's got 9 cards left in their deck. And this is kind of what I mean with these triple colored cards. Like, this is turn 12, and these cards are still fantastic for us. Ooh, Thorn Elemental. That is something that has to die. And grow from the ashes. Wow, they actually tapped out. That's a blessing. Now they don't even get to draw a card. And another Lingering Phantom. So I guess we're just eviscerating this. And we're going to hit my opponent for a reasonable amount. I want to keep up double black as much as we can for the shade, although I think we're going to play the Macy Unicorn. I guess Macy Unicorn doesn't do fantastically against the Soothsayer. I think we're probably still going to play it, though. Alright, opponent concedes. Well, we saw pretty much all of their deck. They're really not doing too much. I mean, they're ramping into, like, Thorn Elemental, and Allosaurus is very good, for sure. But kind of feels like a lot of sort of do-nothing cards, honestly. So hopefully we can sneak by with the next game too, even if we're a little bit clunky. It's also nice that my opponent does seem to be on the ramp strategy, even if they don't have a ton of great payoffs. They may have been really unlucky too. Those last 6 cards may have just had a lot of good stuff. But anyway, our deck, I think, will do well against slower decks. So I like that. Invoke the Divine would blow up Phyrexian Scriptures. I think that's the only thing we saw. Dub actually might be okay. We didn't see a lot of removal from my opponent. Don't much care for these. Soothsayer looked pretty good for my opponent even without inherent synergies. Maybe we should play something like that. Did like Power Stone Shard that game at least. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm actually changing anything here. I could see Invoke the Divine, I could see Dub. That Soothsayer maybe should just be in the main deck. Well, I'm not really sure what I want to cut for it is the problem. Alright. What do I think of this hand? I think this hand is very slow. I think it's unlikely my opponent's really going to pressure us, though. And if they can, we do have the Skin Witch. I think we're going to keep. We've got power in the hand and pretty good land already, so that's all nice. And we can play our Banalish Captain. So it's Banalish Marshal. Banalish Marshal, if we find it. Okay, Honor Guard, not bad. Go ahead and play it. A very timely draw there, since it's going to be at its very best on turn 2, certainly. Imagine my opponent's got something. Grow from the Ashes. A good card. Kind of similar to the Skittering artifact. I like Grow from the Ashes because there are so many good cards to splash, and there are relatively few good ways to splash, and Grow from the Ashes is one of them. Yeah, I can't play anything this turn, unfortunately. But the fact that we even found a 2-drop was nice, because this hand could have done Stone Cold Nothing for a long time, instead of doing almost Stone Cold Nothing. Alright, let's see what my opponent's up to here. Dark Bargain. And pitches a Swamp, perhaps not super surprisingly. Yeah, let's swing in for another couple points of damage. I think this format often actually may look like this a fair amount. Remember one of my games at the pre-release, my opponent played like the 2-2, I think it's a red 2-2 for 2 that ups the Saga count. And I just didn't block it for like 5 turns. It did like 10 damage to me because I don't know, there just was never a good play really to block with. Hey, there's that Surveyor we've been talking about. I mean, my opponent's got like ways to get lands and like ramp for lands. I feel like they could have played a greedier mana base, or maybe they just never really got the payoffs they needed. That is a problem with the ramp deck, both in draft and otherwise. Well, let's play Arvad this turn. Have Garna at some point in the future. And buff up our Honor Guard just a little bit. There's actually a reason for playing the Arvad first this time. I wasn't just being sloppy. Yeah, I think my opponent's jump blocking more aggressively than they should, although they may just have a good trick here too. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Some reasonable value for my opponent. Fungal Infection seems like a pretty good card. I don't think it's going to be as good as something like Skullduggery, but it is good. And Skullduggery was really good, so... On the other hand, this format's slower, which makes it a little bit worse. And the 1-1 I think is worse than the +1/+1 in that, like in a just one combat instance. On the other hand, Saprolings are pretty good. Ooh, okay, that hurts. That hurts. Oh, that's still though, it's got Death Touch. Like, it's just really not that bad for us. Saproling Offensive? Yeah, get in there. Also, the Saproling tokens are super cute. They're like my favorite tokens in forever. Like, look at that little guy. He's like, doo 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 doo. That was me making like a Gucci Goo thing, in case you guys didn't catch that over the broad expanses of the internet. Let's play Lingering Phantom this time. Big. We'll be able to buy it back at least once. I'm going to be happy to use the Skin Witch. You could argue maybe doing it that turn, but since they still had 4 cards in hand, it's likely they had other stuff to do with it, I think. Man, they just blaze through their deck. Radiance of Koilos. Good card. Kind of interesting that Garna does the same thing for Lingering Phantom, the turn it plays or not. Ooh, wow, another Lingering Phantom. So we're going to swing with the first Phantom. Do we want to use the Skin Witch yet? I think we don't. On the other hand, if they've got like a powerful card, they're already playing it because they've ramped so quickly. I still feel like we just wait a turn. I'd rather play the Phantom, I think, here. One probably blocks. Yep. Oh, okay, they're gonna bump it. Fair enough. Do we Skin Witch now? We'll take 4 damage next turn. We do just pull everything else out of my opponent's hand. It's definitely a slow play. If they just have like lands, obviously it looks pretty bad. But if we do get something good... Yeah, I think I'm going to cast the Skin Witch here. I kind of like just dissolving my opponent's hand. Yeah, I think that was probably pretty fine. And now they're going to truly be in top deck mode. We do get we do have to take a hit from the Guardian here. My opponent gets to break Memorial of Unity, but that's going to be a problem whenever that happens. Another Guardians of Quailos. Okay. 4/4s for days. And the Soothsayer. Yep, happy to take 4. The Lingering Phantoms are going to give us good value as the game goes on, though. Going to save the Navigator's Compass to bring back Phantoms. Yeah, so just going to play this one here. I think I like sandbagging it. We could play it and just bring back the 1 right now. I think we want maximum value. I don't think we need speed. I think we want maximum value, so let's just play it slow. Yep, always going to be happy to make that trade. Okay, and another one. Okay, another land was actually great there, because then we can play Navigator's Compass, bring back both, and play 1, right? So we have 9. Yeah. So I'm not very often that you're happy to have your 9th land, but I am this time. And Navigator's Compass looks pretty good when it's bringing back 2 cards. Yes, we want to. And yes, we want to. And then we actually have this silly little compass. But gain 3, return 2 creatures to your hand. I mean, that's good. We're really trying to make this Navigator's Compass pull its weight, but it did just then. Alright, and we'll pass back. Now we've... Yeah, it's funny that Garna can either bring them back immediately for like 1 mana cheaper, or at any time in the future for 1 mana more expensive. Yep, and like I said, anytime my opponent gets to the point where they're eating their own cards to draw, we're, I think, in a good spot. Thorn Elemental's kind of bad. Ooh, Urgaros is actually quite bad for us. We don't have a lot of removal, although Vicious Offering does count. That was a good draw. So we've got 9 mana now, so we play Lingering Phantom, Vicious Offering. We're going to do it now so they can't sacrifice in response. And we're just going to sacrifice the Skin Witch. You live by the skin, you die by the Skin Witch. Obviously, if they'd like to trade Urgaros off, I'm fine with that, but probably not. Yeah, Vicious Offering off the top was a heck of a draw. That was great. Let's cast Lingering Phantom. Let's cast Vicious Offering with the Sacrifice Kicker, hitting that. And sacrificing that. And we still have at least like 1 round of buybacks for the Phantoms too, which is nice. Thorn Elemental's big though. That will kill us in not too long. Okay, Skittering Surveyor. So we got 9 again, right? So we actually can't play the Surveyor, buy it back, and play it. We could just swing in with, or play Garna, and then double block the Thorn Elemental. That may be a necessary evil. It's unfortunate because my opponent actually does get like the clean 2-for-1 there. But this is one of the only remaining threats in his deck, and it will kill us quickly. We could try and force them to just leave it back on defense. If I play like the Surveyor here... No, that won't work because we only have 1. No, actually I guess that's alright, right? Because we get a land, so we have 9. Right, so 10, 3... No, actually does work. So let's just do that instead. This Lingering Phantom seems fantastic. If you're in the Historic deck, like these guys have just gotten us so much value. Yes. And then this will enter, find us a land, which we can then play. And then play Lingering Phantom again. guess it doesn't really matter, probably. I guess Swamp, because the shade can get bigger. Okay, and this is a much better double block. So we'll just wait. So without a removal spell, Thorn Elemental is a very imposing blocker, unfortunately. Cracking their Memorial over there. So yeah, we do need to find one of the two. We haven't played either now, so I guess we have about a 10% chance of drawing one or the other. Okay, Sap Herd's fine, but nothing to shout home about. Probably the best part about it is they could draw some extra cards with Soothsayer while the Thorn Elemental holds down the fort. So we could swing with the Phantoms. They'd block. Probably take 5. Then we could play like Garna. And then we've got 11 mana, so we could just replay the Phantom. It really doesn't feel great, though. I'm just going to pass here. I think Garna's effect is more powerful. And again, just any removal spell, and I think we're off to the races. Yeah, I don't know. What if they find like another big flyer or something? If they find another big flyer, then maybe we do need to start swinging faster. Especially given the fact that we're actually at 14 life, because they can always just swing a Thorn Elemental and kill us. We do know they have at least the 2/2. Oh, that's not real fast clock. I just feel like swinging here doesn't actually do much, though, for us either. I mean, it's kind of free, but we're giving up a lot of value. Yeah, let's just pass. Yeah, Blessing of Benzalok would look pretty good right now. Uh-oh. Tapping mana aggressively. Okay, Stronghold Confessor. Definitely a solid card, especially when we don't have a ton of blockers. It's almost swinging. Guardian. So we could swing with those, play the Guardian, replay them. How expendable are these guys? Like, is that chump attack really okay? It doesn't feel like it would be. But we could do that. We play Garna, replay a Phantom, get in for a couple points of damage, then we have Guardians to rebuy Garna later on. Ugh. I don't know, maybe. Alright. Let's swing. Sure. I'm bored. Yeah, because they just sacrifice it. That's not, like, that doesn't even do anything. It's just using our mana. Yeah, this is just... we should just wait for a removal spell. Okay. It isn't going to really cost us, but it just doesn't do much. We won't pay for it, because it's just going to come back anyway. And we'll just play it. Yeah, that attack was just bad. Thorn Elemental's so big. It's just a 7/7. And 7/7s are pretty good on turn 14 or wherever this is. Man, these games have been long. Ooh. That is interesting. Yeah, okay. I think we just take it. We off to the races? Maybe we should belt double block. Yeah, that's true. Having both Lingering Phantoms out then. Ooh, Primordial Worm too. Gross. Alright, let's play the Guardians. Return Garna. I really don't know. We're just like spewing off value for the Lingering Phantoms too, but there's just no way they're going to get through either. I don't know. It's a tough spot to know what to do, and I feel like. Yeah, Primordial Worm ends up being pretty good. Okay, Adventurous Impulse. It's possible our opponent just mills themselves too. Like if we just play conservatively, they just gonna run out of cards. Okay, there's that Acolyte. That's unfortunate. One of the few remaining flyers. Okay. That hits us for quite a bit. I guess actually we want to block like this, don't we? Because we just want to trade everything away. We can replay most of it anyway. Yeah, that looks good. And if they have a trick, I guess it kind of blows us out. We only saw the one last time they've already used it, the Gift of Growth. So I actually think that's probably not a great attack from our opponent. especially given that they were going to be starting to pressure us with the Winggrace Acolyte, and that was a 3-turn clock with the Thorn Elemental too. My opponent just punch us with Thorn Elemental? No. Okay. And let's play Garna here. Bring back everything. Interesting they didn't choose to kill the Guardians. I guess didn't want to get extra value. Nope, don't have to do that, because it's coming back anyway. Okay, so we are at kind of a tenuous life total. Short sword. Alright, so let's play our Lingering Phantom for sure. Play the Surveyor. Go and find a land. Yes. Swamp still. Play the Swamp. So we can't actually take like any free damage is the problem. Do we want to play Short Sword? If we leave 3 blockers back, we actually have to leave like 4 blockers back, I think, to make it bad enough for my opponent. Then we're taking a couple of hits from the Winggrace Acolyte. Ooh, don't like that. So we swing with both. My opponent like double. So we block. I guess we only take 2 extra, but that is 1 step closer to lethal. Yeah, I guess we swing with the Phantom. Maybe we just need to find removal. Yeah, maybe that attack was better than I thought it was going to be for my opponent. Mostly the Winggrace Acolyte's just a good draw. Okay. Because my opponent can just take some damage here is the problem. I guess maybe we should have equipped up the Short Sword. That might have been a little bit better. Hopefully 1 point of damage isn't going to cost us. I'm willing to chump. I like chumps. That's great. Okay, yeah, just drawing. Play the Short Sword, sure. And I guess we'll equip it up to Garna. And then F6. We're low on time. This has been a grindy matchup, and I've spent a lot of time thinking. And I'm not even sure we've come to the right plays a lot of the time, but that's okay. It's fun. Still learning the format some. Okay. So we go down to 4. Well, it looks like they've just got nothing. Okay, yes. Blessed Light, I think we'll put the nail in the coffin here. I guess we might as well wait. I don't think it's likely they're going to find anything with like hexproof. So we could swing. What if we swing with everything? We swing with everything, exile this. My opponent then is taking 19. They have to chump block. No, I don't think we need to be that aggressive. I think we're winning anyway. Let's play for the slow game. I'm not sure what they could draw, but they have like a random haste creature or something. They could ruin our day for sure. Yeah, they're jumping here. Life is good for us. The sacrifice go down to 2 cards. I have to be careful about milling, but you know, they draw 1 more, then they actually have exact lethal if the Winggrace Acolyte gets there. Blessed Light does ruin their day though. And then we have lethal attack next turn. I don't think there's any reason not to wait here. It's possible we could even set up for lethal this next turn if they don't have tons. Okay, the Scout. I mean, this is a sweet game. Stuff has definitely happened. Okay. Yeah, we're just gonna take it, I think. What if, I guess there's maybe some random like life loss. Maybe that's bad. Alright. Let's just go for it. Okay. I don't think there's actually a drain effect in the set, but I haven't seen all the cards either. Okay, opponent concedes. Ooh, wow, that was a grind. Lingering Phantom, MVP for sure. Already looking pretty good for us in match 1. Cool, I'll see you guys in a second for match 2. Welcome back to match 2. We won the dice roll again. Good omen. Ooh, less good hand though. I think we're gonna have to mulligan this one. This hand is actually close to being kind of good. I'm going to keep at this point. Yeah, I think I'll just take it Eviscerate. It lessens the chance we can play the Dreadshade right on time, but I think that's okay. I have heard a couple of people say that this format's a format where you want to draw too. I'm not completely convinced by that, although it's not impossible that's correct. Okay. So yeah, swamp off the top. That's our dream here. I think the format is slower than recent ones, but well, I don't know. The last two games probably would have been better if we drawn both times. Last game may be a little bit of an outlier, though. That was really slow. Ooh, red-blue. All right, show me swamp, 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 swamp. Ooh, yeah. Hopefully this doesn't just get burned. If it doesn't, though, this kills your opponent really fast. They could have, like, fight with fire, for instance, next turn. That would be sad. Okay, blink of the eye is fine. Interesting. That might mean they have a slightly more expensive burn spell. Ooh. Adelies the Cinderwind. Yeah, okay, we're taking damage. I'm not quite sure I love, like, the... I don't know. The art feels a little bit weird on that card, I guess is what I was trying to get at. No reason not to keep playing Plains now, because we do want to be able to play our Banalish Marshal if we were to happen to draw it. I think we're just going to replay Dreadshade. The black, or the red-blue Wizards deck might be pretty fast, though. This might be dangerous for us. Dreadshade does kill quickly, though. If they don't have a real answer for it, basically this turn... Nah, don't do it. Don't do it. No. Oh, alright. So if we find another blue source, we could play Vicious Offering next turn as well. Dreadshade looks a lot less good when it's bouncing to our hand over and over, though. Yeah, okay, we're down to 16. Which isn't, like, absurdly low or anything, but... yeah, I guess we play Dreadshade again. If it gets bounced or interacted with again, I guess maybe we'll do something else. But I still think this is better. We could play, like, Sanctum Spirit this turn, I guess. Maybe play Dreadshade a little bit later. The problem is it's so black intensive, and anytime we're going to be playing two cards in the same turn, it's going to require more black, I think. So Dreadshade we kind of have to play for the third time this game, just because it's not something we can set up and play Vicious Offering, probably. So they play an instant or sorcery here. We take, like, they play another bounce spell. We're just taking 7. Good night. Don't do it. Okay, Cloud Reader Sphinx. Good, actually not absurd. That is, it's probably unusual that I'll say that this is, like, not that bad as the worst case scenario could be, but that wasn't that bad as the worst case scenario can be. Opponent goes top. This is whenever you cast, so I have incentive not to let this survive. Could just trade the Dreadshade off. That feels a little bit worrisome. If we do that, though, we get to set up for Sanctum Spirit. We're going to Vicious Offering the Annalise, almost certainly. Do we just trade it? We just trade it, then the Sanctum Spirit's more likely to keep hitting in for a little while. I really like how resilient this is to removal, though. Do I want to just go down to 11? We'll be able to block their next turn. My opponent can't realistically block this. Yeah, I think we just take it. I think the Dreadshade's too powerful to just let trade here. Cliff Trop Retreat, definitely not bad. So we'll play Sanctum Spirit. We're going to Vicious Offering the Annalise. I guess we should swing with the Dreadshade first. Sanctum Spirit just being a 3-true lifelink here is going to do some good work for us, I think. My opponent's inclined to block. I don't think I'm unhappy with that either, although I would be surprised. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to do this now because we don't want to have the cast trigger ever go on the stack. Now play Sanctum Spirit. And now if they have a bounce for the Sanctum Spirit, we're still taking 6, which is a lot. But if I'm not blocking with the Dreadshade anyway, realistically... Okay, first strike. Fair enough. Glad we got rid of Adelies. Alright, that's a fair amount of damage. We're taking 8 here. We'll go back up to 5. No, yeah, 6. Up to 6. And we get to eviscerate something. This is a fast deck, though, especially compared to the last Dirtle match that we played. Okay. Another land isn't fantastic. So I think we just eviscerate the Sphinx here, swing in, we go up to 6, we go down to 1. Do we need to lead the Sanctum Spirit back? Actually, I guess we leave Dreadshade back now, right? Because that's a good blocker at this point. So we swing with the Sanctum Spirit, eviscerate the Sphinx. Yes, that seems like the play. We've been fortunate we've had our like good removal this game. Oh, I shouldn't have tapped that extra black. Yeah, that was a mistake. Yeah, the Dreadshade's still big enough to block, but hopefully they don't have like a random trick or something. That was actually quite costly, potentially. Yeah, oops. Maybe my opponent will think we're smart and be like, huh, maybe they had to leave up double white or something, but nope, I was just being stupid. Okay. The plains, and pass. And hope we don't die. Opponent still has 4 cards in hand. They've drawn a very ideal number of lands. Although up to 6. Uh-oh. No! What? What even is that card? No! I think we probably lose now. Darn. That was a good start for my opponent. Yep, proving that you can't dirtle insanely in the format and get away with it. Yeah, alright. Few too many lands, although I'm not sure it would have mattered really there either. Opponent's deck seems good. Seems good. I don't love the wall much. Kind of expensive. Invoke the Divine, didn't see anything for it. They're probably playing like Age of Ice if they've got it. Definitely don't like Dub. I think we definitely want like Cabal Evangel. Blessing of Benzalux, maybe a little bit interesting. It's probably not great though. It's a little bit slow. Ball Paladin's pretty bad. We could play the Soothsayer. Kind of just want to bring the curve down a little bit if it's possible. We'll cut 1 Lingering Phantom. Probably the Guardians. Maybe run back something like that. Problem is a lot of the stuff's flying too. This might be pretty tough for us to walk out of, honestly. I think I'm kind of tempted to cut things like Navigator's Compass or Short Sword, but keeping Sanctum Spirit alive might just be like our best path to victory. Alright. We are a slow deck. Huh. I really don't want to mulligan. Hand's pretty bad. We're on the play. We draw like any creatures, it's okay. Oh, man, this hand has such a high chance of being flooded though. Oh man, I'm gonna mulligan. That feels bad, but I'm gonna mulligan. Okay, this hand's maybe better. Couldn't keep. Yeah, I'm gonna put you on the bottom. There's no way we're gonna get to cast you in any reasonable time frame, which means I should have played the Swamp just then, in case we find the Shade again. Oops. A lot of little oopsies. Haven't punished us too badly yet, but a lot of little oopsies. So we do have Sanctum Spirit. If that lands, we'll be able to keep it alive, probably, which is nice. Okay. Fugitive seems fine. Surveyor was a fantastic draw. Just the best. I think it's fairly likely we end up pitching Garna to keep Sanctum Spirit alive here. But not necessarily. I do think we're going to go and find the mountain. Alright, so we're going to take 1, kind of regardless, from Tetsuko? Umezawa. Also a fugitive. What are you running from, Tetsuko? Okay, that is a much less exciting card than we've seen, although it still can't be blocked. Okay. Yep, no blocks. Perhaps. No reason not to swing with the Surveyor, I think. Let's play our Sanctum Spirit. And, I mean, we have a couple ways to make this indestructible, so this is early on. Sanctum Spirit may just be very tough for my opponent to realistically beat. Last game it was kind of close to helping us stabilize. My opponent had just a little bit too much there at the end with the in Bolus's clutches. But the fact that Sanctum Spirit just won't get shot now is awfully nice. Okay, opponent tapping down for Keldon Raider. Seems fine. I'm a big fan of this card in general. Just very, very good rate. 4-3 for 4 is already, like, reasonable. And the fact that you get to pitch cards you don't want. Ooh, looks like they might be looking for more lands. Yep. So now we get to play my opponent probably won't block the Sanctum Spirit game. If they do, great. But kind of doubt it. Let's swing with that. And when they don't block, we'll play Arvad. Yep. And then the off chance that this card survives, we get to play Garna next turn, and then things really kick. I think the chance of Arvad surviving is not high, but... Okay, there's that first striking annoyance. Do we just want to chump block with Chabert? This actually might be about as good a rate as we're going to get. It's possible that Garna could get us more value later on. Okay, there's that stupid Phoenix. It's funny, I wonder if they draw on the Phoenix off Warlord's Fury twice in a row. Because they played it post this trick twice, although on the other hand, they may have been seeing if they'd find something better too. Okay, leaving the Raiders back. Yeah, I think we're just taking this then. I mean, I guess they're all unblockable, so. Or hard for me to block. They're either flyers or unblockable. Yeah, this next turn should be good though. We swing with both of these. My opponent will probably block Arvad. We'll bring in Garna and play Arvad next turn. I feel like we're kind of sneaking away with this game. Like, I feel good about our position. And Bolus's clutches still would wreck us pretty good, but I think swing with the Scaring Surveyor is kind of free. I don't think it's real likely my opponent will block it. And even if they do, I guess we still get it back with Garna, or we could. Not sure that would be the play if they chump blocked it that way, but have to imagine Arvad's just getting blocked. Yep. So we go back up to 20. We're going to play Garna, return Arvad to our hand, and then he'll have haste when he comes back in next turn. Alright, and we're super healthy. Yeah, I love being at 20 life against my opponent here. Especially with, like, active lifelinkers in play. Okay, Academy Journey Mage is good, certainly. Bouncing Garna. Interesting. I think I would probably bounce the Spirit. Interesting. Okay, another Sanctum Spirit. I think we, again, probably swing with both. Yes. My opponent wants to block the Surveyor. That's okay. Yeah, Sanctum Spirit, I think, is definitely our saving grace against this opponent. Could have had 3 in this deck, too, but I think we passed 1 at one point. This may be an important card, like, role player for the historic sort of deck. Okay, I think we're just going to go for that then. Just play another Sanctum Spirit. My opponent knows we have 2 legendaries in hand. It's hard to block. We could also put in Garna and offer to trade later. That doesn't seem fantastic, though. I think we're just going to play another Sanctum Spirit. I think I might play the Stronghold Confessor, honestly, here, too. I don't think we're going to have time to play it in any other way than the 1/1. Having another creature out might be pretty nice. Yeah, this card might be very, very important to keep the sort of historic deck alive as you're trying to play these big, expensive, but very, very powerful, like 5-drop legendaries. Because while our curve, I think, is pretty bad in this deck, I'm not sure that realistically it was going to be much better very often. Swing with everything. So we could just take this, and that would be 8 damage. We go down to 10. How good is it to have to, like, pitch a legendary here? What if they have, like, a trick or something in response to that? Just feels miserable. Yeah, I'm just going to take this, I think. I could definitely see my opponent just offering that trade for one of our good legendaries anyway. but I don't want to give it up for free if they do have just like a random burn spell, which seems very, very likely given their deck. My opponent's going to be in a tough spot here, because realistically, they're going to get knocked down fairly low this next turn. Ooh, King Roller's pretty good. Okay, well, rest in peace, Confessor. Yeah, the first strike's going to be a problem. Alright, so we drew Power Stone Shard, which I guess costs us only 2, so we actually can't really play it with anything. I think we have to just get rid of that, unfortunately. So we played Blessed Light, swing with both. My opponent goes down to 3. We go back up to 15. Yeah. Come on, Sanctum Spirit. We drew both. Yeah, I feel like this matchup is bad for us. I think we've been pretty lucky to stay in it as well as we have this game. And we've been pretty lucky and it's still close. Opponent concedes. Okay. Well, 1-1 the match. It's possible my opponent always mulligans to Oblivion or something. Like, we're not out of it, but I think we are not necessarily favored either. I really don't like much of this. Yeah, Emeralding Wall seems just miserably bad. Still kind of want to lower our curve if we can. There's just not much that exists that we could play. Maybe Sparring Construct's better than Short Sword, actually. It's bad against the Chain Whirler, but it is a chump blocker. Short Sword is going to be bad against like a lot of bounds. It's pretty slow. Sure. I think we still have to draw pretty miraculously, and our good draws are going to include the Spirit. I guess we did mulligan down to 6 that last game, though. We did overcome that. Have to imagine my opponent's in the play first camp. Ooh. Not in love with this hand, not in love with this hand. If we draw black, we can play things. If we draw white, we can play things. Draw red, we cry. If we draw non-lands, we're pretty unhappy. We have 3 draws before we have to find land. Yes, I'll keep. This is pretty borderline, though. My opponent kept pretty rapidly, so if they've got a good start, I'm not sure this hand's going anywhere. Stronghold Confessor was not a good draw. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe this should be a mulligan. Hard to say. Hey, there's that Tetsuku. Okay, another Plains is a land at least. I like lands at least. We'll play Marshall next turn. Not outstanding, it's just a 3-drop play, but it is a 3-drop play. Annalise is going to have to get Vicious Offeringed as soon as we find black, which is hopefully soon. It's looking scary, guys. It's looking scary. Oh no, oh no, no, no. Alright. So, they actually haven't showed us any burn. They've showed us some like bounce interaction, but mostly it's just been creatures. Just very good, like evasive creatures. We're gonna get down to 14 now. And our best draw is still just probably Swamp. Okay, Keldon Raiders. That may just have to trade with the Marshal, honestly. We can't take... Oh, Squee, that's pretty cool. Alright. Ooh, bad draw, bad draw. Yeah, this hand was borderline. We're on the wrong side of the border here. Yeah, I mean, we can't do anything, so let's pass. And I'll trade my Marshal away for the Keldon Raiders. Take another 3, go down to 11. Yeah, you guys have to let me know if you had a mulligan there. It's maybe a risky keep. I do feel like we maybe have to be a little bit lucky against this opponent too. But maybe we should have mulliganed more aggressively. I think our odds at this point are pretty narrow, pretty narrow. Alright, that's just trample, right? So at least they'll... Oh no, they don't trade because it's +3/+3. Yeah, we're super, super dead. So we take 4, 5, 8, going to 6. Well, we put up a good fight in game 2, I guess. Put up a good fight in game 2, at least. This deck does look like the real deal, though. These, it's not even like wizards per se, just like a kind of a blue-red tempo beatdown. Yeah, I think that block was forced. Obviously, it didn't look very good for us, but it's not like we can just not block too. Swamp. Does that save us? So we could play like Stronghold Confessors a 3/3. Probably still taking like 3 next turn. Play Arvad next turn. Still taking 3. We play Stronghold Confessor and block. If they don't have anything, we could maybe like Vicious Offering and like Cabal Evangel if we find black. I think this is our best line. We die to like a strong breeze from our opponent. Oh, perhaps a cinder breeze. Well, wind, whatever. But I think this is the best line. Even if it's still not a very good one. Yep. Alright. GG. Thoroughly thrashed. That's okay though. I mean, we had a pretty good first game. We knew that the deck was kind of slow, kind of grindy. If there was going to be a fast matchup, it was going to be a tough one. And it was indeed. What? Still, it was fun. Cool to see the deck in action. See you guys for match 3. Match 3, the dice roller is still favoring us over here. We're going to play first. And I think we got a pretty good hand here. If we find 1 Swamp, Dreadshade on turn 3 is great. And if we find any land, we can play Sanctum Spirit. Well, actually, I guess maybe this hand's a little bit slow. If we're playing against an aggressive beatdown deck again, this might not be great. But I think it's definitely still a keepable one. Especially given how awkward our curve can be. Okay, opponent's starting off with the plains. Okay, we found a land, even if it's not a swamp, so it's a good draw. So Archaeologist actually is only artifact cards. I was thinking it was historic earlier, but only artifact. So I'm not sure you're ever going to get much value from the enter the battlefield, or it's going to be rare. Yeah, still no play. My opponent didn't do anything on turn 2 though, so we do have Sanctum Spirit, which will be a good line next turn, and then we could pitch the Guardians of Koilos if my opponent tries to kill it. Triple white, no Banalish Marshal. Not the dream. My opponent maybe is having some mana problems. They didn't mulligan, right? No, they didn't. I didn't think so. Ooh, okay. Looks like they have 2 colors now. Ooh, wow, I haven't seen this card. Kawende, Prince of Femeref. Double strike. Creature you control with first strike. Have double strike. Alright, that is a card. So Sanctum Spirit can still tussle with that just fine, because we can make it indestructible. Do we want to eviscerate it? I don't love that line. Ooh. Garn is good, although we actually, for the first time, are not able to play it right on time. We've drawn this card a lot, and we've been able to play it a lot. The mana's been pretty good for us in general. So actually, I kind of want to... Like, I'd love to put this in a position where they're trading. Because then we could, like, during Archaeologist, bring back the Guardians. Man, that would be fantastic. Is there a way we can realistically do that? Probably not. Not sure we're playing this turn, though. I guess I'll swing a Sanctum Spirit. I definitely think swinging is correct. Pretty sure my opponent just won't block, though, and then we're not in a great spot. We just play the Guardians and say, hey, we can trade. I guess that's not bad, and then bring it back with during Archaeologist. We still have Garnet, we could pitch to keep the Sanctum Spirit alive. Alright, let's play a dirtily 4/4. Kawende. I kind of want to keep Eviscerate up, because I think it's likely that my opponent's going to be, like, ham on the... ooh, Goblin Barrage. Alright. Fair enough. That's a good card. I think it's likely my opponent's going to have, like, a bunch of auras, equipments, etc. That does seem to be the theme of the red-white deck, at least. Yeah, I'm really not that unhappy about this. Sanctum Spirit is a bigger life swing every turn than Kawende is. We're only losing 1 point. Ooh, Urgros is good. We're still a land away from playing it, but Urgros is good. So let's go ahead and swing with our Sanctum Spirit. It's also another thing we could pitch if we needed to. Although it's looking more likely that it'll be Garna than Urgros. Let's play our Daring Archaeologist for the first time. Yes, we would love to do that. Would we try and trade the Archaeologist if my opponent gave us the opportunity? Ooh, Sergeant at Arms kicked. I now kind of don't love that line. no attack from my opponent, so not much of a choice for us anyway. Yeah. So, locked on lands just a little bit. I guess there's no real harm in playing the Guardian. It is, I mean, a historic card that would work for Lingering Phantom, but we have a couple of those already. I don't really love trading one of our legendaries for a Sergeant at Arms on its own. I guess we could just do that, though. We could pitch the Guardians. But then what's our follow-up play? Like eviscerate something, which we don't really care about. Nah, let's just play the Guardians here. During Archaeologist to get a little bit bigger, which is nice. And we'll just sit on our hands here. If we find another black, or I guess any land, Urgaros will get going. And then Dreadshade can be big too. We have a good hand. Ooh, Karn. Alright, Karn is a thing. So, reveal the top 2 cards of your library and opponent choose one of them, put that card in your hand, and exile the other one with silver counter on it. Put a card you own with a silver counter from exiled into your hand. Oh, okay. So +1 is you always get a card, and then you can get the other card back. Pretty good card. Pretty good card. Okay, yep. I mean, so choose a card. This card will be put into his hand. I guess you can have Mountain. And we know this is exiled with silver on it. Ew, this card gets big really fast too. Karn is no joke. Okay, cool. So my opponent's got double strike here. Yeah, no great blocks. Ooh, okay. Well, I'm not going for anything though either. Oh man, another Lingering Phantom is a miserable draw. Okay, so I think we do want to pressure Karn though, and I'm happy to eviscerate this now. For the value. I think we're just going to swing with everything at Karn. My opponent can trade this for this or this. Okay. That's fine. I'm going to pitch Garnet to this card. Give it life, or give it indestructible for a moment. And now my opponent's still got Karn in hand, but we have a full board. They've got nothing. Seems not bad. Seems not bad. They can create, I guess, a 0/0, but it doesn't do anything right now. Getting back killed in Overseer is not fantastic. They're probably just +1ing. I mean, Overseer is an aggressive card, like, and that's not what you need right now. Yeah, I mean, you have Plains. So the Chosen card. So that one. Wow, you just have Stone Cold nothing? That's suspicious. Okay, I love getting another land there. I mean, I guess playing a Historic card might be relevant, although any 2 of these creatures kill Karn. I think we're just going for it. Not sure what they'd have at instant speed that really wrecks us. I kind of want to get Lingering Phantom out there rather than Urgaros, since bringing these back later on will be very nice. Urgaros is a good card match on its own, but it's much worse if they just kill it. Anyway, regardless, I think we're just going to swing at Karn first. Right, Karn Daddy is dead. Yeah, well, I feel like we're still doing pretty good. My opponent's on 4 cards. I guess if they had removal, they probably would have used something. So maybe Urgaros is better. We still have a lot of gas in our hand, and we can find other things that will trigger Historic. Our deck looks really good this game. Like I said, if we're not getting crazy beaten down, I feel like we do have a lot of power. My opponent looks like they're kind of in the middle between the last deck. Okay, yeah, they must have just drawn a billion lands, it looks like. This deck looks kind of in the middle of deck 1 and deck 2. Since deck 1 was really quite slow and deck 2 is pretty fast. This one looks a little bit more mid-range. Alright, so mid-range. Invoke the Divine might be pretty good. I'll bet they are playing more tricks. Or more enchantments. We only saw 1. So maybe it's worrisome to move it in. But on the other hand, if we don't have one of our relatively few removal spells, something like Dub actually blanks us pretty well. I think I'm okay bringing that in. Hopefully it's not a blank for us. Maybe cut a Lingering Phantom. Maybe the Guardian. It's just whatever. I don't know if we need, like, Cabal Evangel. Are we playing Rat Colony, though? I'm not sure why we're playing Rat Colony over Cabal Evangel. I guess they're just cuter. Alright, I think let's just run this back. And the Invoke the Divine is a little bit speculative. It may just not be great, but these two cards I think are solid, though. Let's go ahead and keep. But also, like, removing an enchantment mid-combat might be pretty powerful. Okay, don't hate Power Stone Shard either. I guess we want to go on the double white plan because we want to play Mace Unicorn next turn. This deck does have very strong incentive to try and play all of the same lands going up one way or the other. Okay, Banalish Honor Guard. Probably will just trade for our Mace Unicorn, which is fine. Ooh, Arbod. I like me an Arbod. So, same argument. I think our best line is to just play Plains, because, well, I guess if we find the Marshal, we couldn't play it, and at this point, but whatever. So next turn we'll play Power Stone Shard into Arvod? It's possible we should just play the Sanctum Spirit. We just trade? That probably means we're gonna have a follow-up. If it's 3 toughness, we look pretty embarrassed. On the other hand, you always make this attack. I think I'm just gonna let it go. Okay, well, kind of breaks even then. Okay, we did find one more Plains for what that's worth. Let's go ahead and swing with our Mace Unicorn. Which really just means that neither of these cards did anything over the last couple of turns. Oh wow, opponent just took it. So they're afraid of losing their Courser. It's interesting. I think I would call the bluff there just because it's always going to be a free attack for us. But if you really like your Courser, I can see that argument. Again, don't want to use Eviscerate unless we really have to in this deck, because it seems likely my opponent's going to have Pants galore. Wow, yeah, this is aggressive. I would think you just want to keep this back to block the Mace Unicorn. But I'm not my opponent. I'm getting on the edge of having more lands than I want, but it's okay. Swing with the Unicorn. Have to imagine my opponent wants not going to trade there. And I guess I'm going to play Arvod. If it gets removed, it's a little bit worse because Sanctum Spirit would survive. It's a little bit more mana efficient. I don't know, how much is mana efficiency going to matter? Maybe not much. So what happens next turn? If we find like one of our 2s, I guess we're unhappy with that play. If we play the Sanctum Spirit first, I mean. Yeah, I guess we're still just playing Arvod. I think it's fairly likely this is going to get burned or something, though. We have a lot of lifelink in this deck. I mean, a lot of it's uncommon. We have 4 lifelinkers? Yeah, Shivan Fire. Alright. Darn. So either way, Arvod would have gone to the graveyard, but we would have had Sanctum Spirit in play then, which is better, certainly. Better, certainly. Opponent is down to 2 cards in hand. I think they're kind of running out of gas. We don't have a lot going on either, though. Don't have a lot going on. Let's play our Sanctum Spirit, which right now is not able to become indestructible, but my opponent doesn't know that. Yeah, this Mace Unicorn has done some serious work here. Lifelink is awfully good when you end up racing or trying to hold on against an aggressive deck. Whoa! Whoa! Lyra. Well, okay, I guess we won't wait for that to get enchanted. We're just gonna kill it. Goodness, that card's good. Alright, alright. Whew. So we got into 8. We're gonna go back up to 13, though. Whew, whew, whew. Oh man, another land. What do I gotta do, deck? What do I gotta do? Well, later it gets eviscerated just like everything else, I suppose, but That card is good. That card is good. So if I take my opponent down to 9 and pass. We do need to find gas though. Hit too many lands and not enough to do with them. Okay, yep, you got me. I don't have anything. And now we're losing the race fairly considerably. Still not sure I love the Pegasus Crusher swinging, but man. Alright. Alright. Well, on the plus side, we can now play both the Dreadshade and the Banalish Marshal if we find them. I think there's literally any hit in the deck we can play, so that's good. We're gonna take... Ooh, we're just dead then, right? 3, 6... Yeah, we're just dead. Alright. GG. We did know that was a potential. That's quite the swing, though. Yeah, I think we were actually okay that game. We just drew a lot of lands and couldn't quite pull it together. We'll take Servant, actually. No, it seems bad. It just seems bad. We're not going to go down that road. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to change anything. Lyra is a problem, but yeah, I don't think there's anything we can really bring in that makes us less soft to that, so... Okay, I would like to play first. Hand's good. A little bit interesting on whether we should play into the Shade or the Unicorn. Pretty sure we should go for the Unicorn, but I guess maybe if we draw third Swamp, we'd play the Shade first. Probably still should just go for Unicorn, but we'll see. Let's start out with Swamp, certainly. No harm in playing the odds a little. And if we don't draw Swamp, then there's no choice at all. Okay, yeah. Mace Unicorn and pass. Hand's pretty good. We do need to find another land, preferably a swamp, but my opponent didn't have a 2-drop, which is good. Yeah, I mean, I will definitely accept Plains, even though it's not quite as sweet. Yeah, this Mace Unicorn. I was wondering how good it would compare to something like Bishop Soldier. It's still good. This format seems to be slow, but maybe not as slow as some people are making it out to be. Alright, Sergeant at Arms kind of blanks the Mace Unicorn, but that's okay. Ooh. So we could play the Shade. I think we're still just going to play Sanctum Spirit, though. It's on a curve. It does have something to pitch. We're not going to do it into empty mana, just because my opponent almost certainly does have some instant speed interaction, but if there's an empty mana. Okay. So we still don't have a great attack now. Just because the double block is awkward, but it's alright. Let's play Arvad, and then we can play Urgaros next turn. The Sanctum Spirit will no longer have the opportunity to become indestructible, but if my opponent can't answer Urgaros, that's pretty strong too. Hopefully no Lyras in our future. I think that's our biggest fear. My opponent's deck looks good. Looks sweet. Okay, Short Sword. Not fantastic without synergies going on, but I guess we can always pitch it to the Sanctum Spirit too. Alright, so we play Urgaros. Don't kill it. That is the goal. It is a 5/6. That's possible it'll be tough for my opponent to answer. It's very, very good if it's going to start getting hits in. Even if they have Lyra, potentially we actually could answer it. Alright, that is good for us if that's the best they can do. Ooh, I like me a Vicious Offering too. Is there any merit in playing the Short Sword, or would we rather keep it as Sanctum Spirit defense? It does make Urgaros even a little bit bigger. Is the 1 point of damage actually that relevant? I guess it puts it out of the 5 mana burn spell range, which if they find one more land they could have. I guess we're just gonna make it a little bit bigger. I could see that argument either way, but Urgaros is much more important than the Sanctum Spirit. We could just Vicious Offering the Sentry, but I think we need to keep this in case they have like Lyra. And if my opponent wants a chump block instead of discard, that's not the end of the world. Alright. Well, I've got a 7/6 flying Super Spectre. Feels pretty good. Alright, got rid of Dub. Not unhappy with that. Let's play a Dreadshade. Yeah, I feel like we're in a good spot. I'm happy with the way things have played out. We both pretty much curved out, but I think our cards have just been a little bit higher impact. Ooh. When you cast a Historic spell, return target creature card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Okay. Doesn't do too much right now. Not bad, though. Ooh, swinging. That feels brave to me. You're just accepting your fate for the Urgaros. Well, we're going to swing with both of these guys. And delightedly pick apart my opponent's hand. Well, I guess, yeah, maybe you just swing there, because if you're not blocking, you might as well, right? Huh. Yeah, that's fine. Just a jump block. Okay, keep from taking a lot of damage. This is to the battlefield, but there's not going to get kicker or anything. Yeah, we'll just keep Vicious Offering, and hopefully my opponent can't do much. Okay. The Sergeant of Arms gets to come back. So I play Kwende. It's a cool name. Not as big about Femerif, but Kwende. Alright. They still have some blockers, certainly. Ooh, they're coming in with the force. Well, that's true. This is double striking now. Interesting. They have one mountain up. There's a couple of lethal threats, right? Why would you swing? Unless you had a way to kill off this. Maybe they're playing on chump blocking that. What could they have? Well, we can't block those regardless. I guess we maybe block with Arvad. This is still lethal. Either way. We could just take it. Oh, it's Vigil. Well, Vigilant doesn't matter too much. I mean, they're going to gain 4 up to 8. I guess we maybe just want to kill that off. Can't really think of what blows this out. Super bad. I think we're just going to Vicious Offering. I think they're probably just trying to barely survive off this. So Vicious Offering, -2/-2, that should be sufficient. And then we just have lethal, right? Then maybe it was kind of a desperation attack. Try and get as low as possible and set up for like a big swing next turn or something. Felt like my opponent maybe could have been more conservative, but I'm not sure of their deck either, so maybe not. Yeah, we're gonna... Alright, that's enough. Cool! So 2-1 in our first Dominaria draft league. Felt pretty good. Definitely got run over in match 2, but other than that, the deck seemed sweet. My first time really playing with a historic quote-unquote deck, and the payoffs are there. I mean, Sanctum Spirit's great. Lingering Phantom really showed its worth, or what it can do in game 1. It might be a little bit tough, because I think really you want your historic cards to be these fantastic legendaries, and I'm not sure how many you're going to be able to get. Maybe 3 isn't unreasonable. But we were much more excited with these cards than we were with like Power Stone Shard or Guardians of Koilas. Although those were okay. We didn't really have any bad draws, which is nice, because I definitely could see us getting burned by like, you have Short Sword and Navigator Compass and Power Stone Shard and a bunch of lands, and it's just like, this deck just doesn't do anything. But as it stood, we usually hit our good creatures and then had stuff to like make the Sanctum Spirits indestructible or bring back Lingering Phantom. During Archaeologist was pretty solid the one time we played it. The deck seemed cool. I'm really excited for the set. It feels like there's a bunch of different things that are available and potentially good, and that's always a nice and like healthy feeling for a brand new set. I'm sure over the next couple of weeks we'll kind of narrow down the best handful of decks, but for now it's cool that it is so open. Everyone's just trying stuff out. I'm gonna get right to editing this, and I'll post it as soon as I possibly can for you guys. And I should hopefully be able to get another draft league up for tomorrow as well. That's usually the goal with day 1. But this one definitely will, I guess, be coming soon to a YouTube near you. thanks everyone so much for watching. You guys are great. If you liked what you saw, subscribe. I do this a couple times a week, and I'll do some extra videos every time a pre-release runs around as well. So thanks so much. See you guys next time.